This is Chemistry 1045 Lab Experiment number 4, percent water in hydrated salt.
In this experiment, we're going to be attempting to figure out the percentage of water in a sample of hydrated salt. In order to do this, we're going to be firing a crucible with its lid on in order to remove any contaminations present.
One method to heat the crucible is to use a Bunsen burner and a ring stand. You place the crucible on the ring stand and place the Bunsen burner beneath and let it fire for 5 to 7 minutes before turning it off.
Then you move the crucible to a cooling area safely by using either tongs or heat-proof gloves, allowing it to cool for 10 minutes before recording the mass. After obtaining the mass of the heated crucible, you measure out 2 grams of the unknown hydrated salt and add it into the crucible. Then you measure the mass of the crucible and the hydrated salt.
After obtaining the mass of the crucible without its lid and the hydrated salt, you replace the crucible onto the heated surface using either tongs or heat-proof gloves.
After replacing the crucible, you reposition the lid so that it's a little ajar before heating it for another 5 to 7 minutes. After heating the crucible, you will place it back into the cooling area using either the tongs or the heat-resistant gloves and allow it to cool for 10 minutes. After cooling, you will obtain the new mass of the crucible and then repeat the process of heating, cooling, and weighing 2 more times.
After obtaining the 3 masses of the crucible, you will check to make sure that they are similar to make certain that there were no mistakes during the heating process. After obtaining the masses of our crucible after heating, we're going to obtain the mass of the salt by subtracting the mass of the crucible and salt from the mass of just the crucible. Then we're going to obtain the mass of the water lost by subtracting the mass of the crucible and salt from the mass of the crucible after heating. Then we obtain the percent water loss by dividing the mass of the lost water by the mass of the original salt and turning it into a percent. After obtaining the percent water loss, we're going to repeat the experiment 1 time in order to obtain another percent of water loss. After obtaining the percent water losses, we're going to add them together and divide by the number of runs of the experiment in order to get the average percent water loss.
After obtaining the average percent water loss, we're going to look at the table of hydrated salts and their percent waters in order to figure out what the unknown hydrated salt that we had is.